Good afternoon, everyone. Donny Walker here once again. I was just doing this saw. I just modified a few this morning. Trying to get this 261 done for a fella. Let me just see who his name is here. Hopefully he doesn't mind me saying his name. He's from Vancouver, BC. Doug Lonsborough. An MS-261, sat for 4 years. Walkerize it. Wow, man. This thing's barely been used. Looks like it's only made a few cuts, but it's been sitting for 4 years. So, obviously, when I'm doing something like this, I'm going to check the lung of the engine, the carburetor. This has got one of the original solenoids in it, and I'll explain you how these solenoids work. Hopefully, I can figure it out for you, or tell you about it, teach you about it. So yeah, Zama carburetor. Here's your carburetor solenoid. The solenoid is basically your fuel controller. That controls all the fuel in here into the metering system. So the saw itself has what they call now a control module, not a coil, but a control module. So it's controlling the, as the thing starts and the RPM, it senses humidity, temperature, type of fuel you're using, and it makes the saw run properly, like it would with a low and high speed jet. So it'll run at the beach, the same RPM as it will 2,000 feet up in the air. So yeah, kind of neat actually. A lot of people badmouth this new technology, but it's getting way better, and when they run good, they're awesome. Okay, so this here has this older black solenoid in it, so I know it's one of the original ones. At first, they've changed a bunch of these solenoids, different color ones for different models, blah, blah, blah. Then they were kind of expensive at the begin with, but now they're cheap. So from Stihl, you can buy what they call a tune-up kit, mtronic service kit, right here, service kit mtronic. So it gives you the brand newest fuel filter from Stihl that has real fine microns, so nothing gets in it. Well, not nothing, but stuff still gets into the carburetor. But much better than their older ones, okay? So in this kit, you get the fuel filter, and you get this new solenoid. It's a white one, and it's roughly around 20 bucks, man. It's a pretty good deal. So once these saws come into the shop these days for a tune-up, or, they're a bit used and you need some work, we throw these tune-up kits in them now, these mtronic tune-up kits, and that'll solve any problem if that solenoid isn't working right. When the solenoid isn't working right, you can usually tell because it's not idling right or it's dying out. It runs crappy, okay? Like you had stuff stuck in the carburetor. So, or a needle leaking in the carburetor, right? Like flooding. So that's a good thing it does that. It floods itself instead of leans out. And that's a good thing so your saws don't burn up, right? So I'm going to go over this carb right now. Like I said, it's been sitting for 4 years. Let's check it over. And I've already ported the saw and checked everything else over on it. Like I say, it's like new. So I'll show you how to change the solenoid. Maybe I'll zoom you in a little bit so you can see. I wasn't gonna do any videos today because I'm supposed to be working. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done. But hey, I gotta show you guys, man. Okay, let's zoom in. And I'll get right down to it so you can really see it. You're not gonna see my ugly face for a bit. Okay, there we go. That should work. Okay, so here's your plug-in that goes to the wiring harness to the control module. You got your spark plug lead here, and your lead there for the solenoid, and your throttle positioning sensor as well. Okay, so I'm going to take this solenoid out now, this black one where the wire comes, and that goes over to the throttle plug. So we'll get this out and change it. It's Wednesday, it's hump day again, hey? That hump day again. I'm gonna go down to Nanaimo tonight and spend the night. Then tomorrow I'm gonna go down to Victoria and pick up a go-kart that I've bought from my friend Chris Gallagher, so I can go racing on the weekend. So let's get this wire unplugged here. Okay. Come on, out of there. Push down this tab. It's supposed to come out. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, pop that out. Cut myself while I do it. Okay, now let's get the solenoid. Just kind of work it out. Okay, there it is. There's the black one. That right there is all controls the fuel. At first, I believe they had some sort of discs problems in there. I think they were kind of a plastic or a Teflon, and then they went to a steel or a stainless material, maybe. I could be wrong, but I'm not exactly sure, but I know they've changed them. So this one here, they say right in the instructions, don't touch it with your don't put your human skin oil on these O-rings. So you're not supposed to touch them, okay? There is a little instruction sheet in there, but I already threw it away, sorry. So I put a little bit of film on it. I just put a little lube on the O-rings, okay? And simply just push it back into here. Kerplunk, done. That's how you change it. It's very simple. Then we just put our little bracket back on with the screw that holds it down into there. Okay, come on, where's that sucker? There we go. And our little screw. I am going to take this carb apart and check the screen in the carb and the diaphragms, and check it with my carb gauge to make sure that it's holding pressure, right? Always got to do that. You can't presume that it's good. You know, the carburetor's along in the engine. You got to take care of it. Alrighty. The cart I'm getting is an stihl cart, made in Italy, and it's got a Honda kind of GX200 on it. It's an open 4-stroke motor, but I'm going to change it and put the Briggs on it after I get it. I'm going to sell the motor to another friend of mine. Okay, let's get this carburetor apart and have a look at it. Like I say, it's been sitting for 4 years, but now we got a new solenoid in it. Let's check out our fuel pump side first. That's with the one screw. Make sure there's nothing in the screen and the diaphragm isn't all wore. It's pretty darn clean, man. It's perfect. Okay, even the flaps don't even have the circle wore yet to where it seats in there. It's got the Teflon sort of style diaphragm. We'll just put that back together, and we'll check out our metering one side to make sure it's fine too. Maybe the guy drained the fuel out of this, and maybe it was running Moto Mix or something in it, so it didn't have ethanol in it to wreck these diaphragms, and that's what happens with ethanol. It wrecks these diaphragms and other stuff in your saws. Okay, we'll get this off, and then we'll put our carb pressure gauge on it to make sure that it isn't leaking. Okay. The needle and fulcrum arm moves fine. It's very clean in here. Diaphragm feels nice. Okay. It's not hard, crispy, or anything. So yeah, we're lucky here. But let's put our carb tester on her. I always put a little bit of fluid on the needle on top of it, just so you can see bubbles if it does leak. Pump her up a little bit, close to 10 pounds pressure. Pop it off. Try it again. Do it a few times. There's no leaks. No, so that's good, man. We're going to just put it back together, but I will check my height of my my fulcrum arm, or metering lever, if you want to call that. For some reason, I call them fulcrum arms. I have forever. So let's, what do we got here? Zama. Let's go right there. Level with the gauge, with no gasket. It's perfect. You can get these gauges from Zama or Wallbore ones to set your metering lever heights or your fulcrum arm heights on all different models of carburetors. Okay, let's put this back on now. The metering diaphragm back on and cover. And it'll be good to go. I'm going to put the new fuel filter in the tank. I already pressurized the fuel line, make sure it didn't have any holes in it. No, it didn't. So we can just simply put this back on. I'll finish modifying the muffler. I'm going to put a dual pipe muffler on it two small pipes, and these little 261s rip, man. I've done lots of them. My friends love them that are using them for chunking down trees, doing tree topping, or small firewood. Okay. All right. Doesn't take long, eh? You know, there you go. There's a new solenoid in it. Diaphragm's been checked out. Everything else looks fine. I always get in the habit as well to check your choke butterfly screw. Just because I've had some come loose and go into engines. Not on new ones, but you know, you never know. Okay? They're fine. Because if you were working on an older carburetor and that came loose and went in the motor, you're looking at some bad destruction there. So there you go. That's how we put a solenoid in a stihl carburetor and an mtronic. And like I say, that's usually the symptoms when they're bad is they won't idle, they'll die out, they'll run crappy. Okay? So buy the kit, 1140 007 1802. That's your service kit for mtronic. Keep your saw into it, stick in the ice, rubber on the road. I will this weekend. Maybe I can get a GoPro on and try to film, but I don't have time to make a mount for it. We'll see how it goes. So, anyways, I'll get this one together. Then I got a 572 to do before I head back down to Nanaimo tonight. And once that's done, I'll load the saws all up and get out of here. Go have some supper and then get on to the next day. So, yep. Keep sawing away. Have a great day. It's hump day. Get on over it. And what's coming up? Thursday, then TGIF, then the weekend to go have some fun. So, hope everyone has a good rest of their day. We'll see you later. Bye now.